without a doubt could change your business, right? I've got a special guest on with me who I'll announce here in just a second. But yeah, I'm believing this training right here literally could double your business. So today we're going to be talking about sales, right? And in a coaching business, right, there's where you're at right now. Maybe you're at 5K a month, maybe you're at 50K a month, maybe you're at 150, and where you want to get to, right? For some people, it's, man, I just want to have a 50K month. I want to get to 100K. I want to get to 200K. Whatever your goal is, one of the biggest pillars in getting there is, right, your mindset. And a lot of you guys already have that down. The next is your offer. You have to know what you're selling, who you're selling to, how you're going to pitch it. And it has to be something that people even desire, right? And a lot of people, they have a problem in their offer with their pricing structure, right? They're charging 500 a month, 2K for fitness coaching, whatever. And little did they know that we could actually double, oftentimes even triple the price of your offer just by getting good at sales. Like a lot of people who are already paying you guys would have paid you 2 to 3 times more than you're even, quoting people and selling it for right now. But that's never going to happen if you're not good at sales, right? And last week we talked about some things just in regards to marketing, right? If you're going to be able to scale, you have to have a funnel that gets you leads in the form of calls, right? But several bottlenecks come up, which is what we're going to be talking about today in regards to sales. Like you're either in one of two places. A, you're taking all of your sales calls right now and your close rate sucks, your cash collected sucks, you're not confident to raise your prices, or you already have a team under your belt. Maybe you've got a closer that's not closing. Maybe you want to hire a closer. Maybe you need another closer. A lot of different things. But what I've seen from every person that we've helped get to 100K a month plus, the main driving factor that gets them there is sales. They're really good at sales, right? Yes, the offer matters. Yes, you have to have good marketing, but you could have the best offer in the world, the best marketing in the world, but suck at sales, and you genuinely will never get further than you are right now unless you dial this in. So, I'm going to jump in here and there a little bit, but I've actually got Tristan on today. Tristan is a man of God, and not only that, but he's helped me significantly in my business. He literally built our sales team. He's built sales teams for several of our clients that have now gone on to do 200K a month. He's worked for people and built sales teams of over $1 million a month in the coaching space. So I've actually asked him to come on this call. Just chat all things sales. So put some fire emoji in the chat and help me welcome up Tristan to the stage. Tristan, good to see you, brother. And real
All
quick,
right.
before Tristan goes in, Tristan makes a lot of money. Okay. He's taking time out of his day to pour into you guys. And one thing I would ask, right? Unless you're at the gym or unless you're driving your car right now, we're doing this absolutely free because we love and care about you guys. So could you at least do us a favor and turn your cameras on? I know you guys are some attractive, beautiful humans. So we want to see your guys' face. And hey, if you're single, maybe there's somebody on the Zoom cam that you think is attractive. You could just slide in their DMs here on the Zoom chat. I'm kidding. But yeah, turn your cameras on if you can and really lean in because Tristan's about to really pour a lot into us. So Tristan, take it away, dude.
Let's go. What's going on, everybody? I'm currently operating out of a church right now. I'm not in my house because my house has no internet. And it's like 30 degrees in here, so we're definitely battling, but I actually prepared a little presentation for everybody. So I'm just going to dive right in. I know most people, I see some students of mine in here, but most people don't know who I am. So I'll get into a little introduction. You may be asking, who is this guy? And why should I even listen to him? So let me do a little introduction. So my name is Tristan Steckler. I've been in the online high ticket coaching space since October of 2021. I actually liquidated my bank account to join a online coaching program right out of college. I uh I graduated university. I went that route because my parents told me that was the route to go. And then COVID happened and I'd spent, you know, 60, $70,000 on college education and could not find a job to save my life. And that's where I found this online space. I ended up liquidating my bank account. This is a screenshot of what my account looked like shortly after paying a little over $6,000 for coaching. It was the scariest decision I'd ever made in my entire life, and I'll tell you guys more about this later. But shortly after joining that coaching program, I ended up closing for that same entrepreneur. And at the time, he had a pretty good YouTube following. He was doing around $750,000 a month organic. And that's where I really started to learn how this online coaching space worked. And I definitely wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today without learning under that mentor. So I worked for this entrepreneur for a little over 2 years. And over that period of time, I ended up going from just closing to sales management to managing two of his offers. He had a B2C offer and a B2B offer. And that's whenever we crossed, the most we ever did in a month was 1.2 million. But I was responsible for all the training, all the quality control, all the hiring for two different divisions of the company, two completely different skill sets. And that's where I really started to learn how to actually build a culture, how to hold your team accountable, how to operate with excellence. When I say that, I mean uh, being people of integrity. If I give you my word and I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it. There are no excuses. There's no cutting corners. There's no taking days off. And excellence is a standard and it's a choice and it's a daily commitment. But that's really where I started to learn how to actually scale high ticket offers. Now, once I had mastered these different skills over this 2 year period, I ended up networking with a coach at one of Brandon's masterminds who was doing $18,000 a month, which I don't know about you. We're all entrepreneurs here. $18,000 a month for an entire business is not enough to pay the bills. But whenever I came in, I started implementing these different systems, and this is what ended up happening. So this is the first month. This is in June of 2023. I came on, they did 18K in cash collected. If you look over the last year, this same company, this is just on Stripe, has done 1.5 million. We also have PayPal. We also have Teachable, which is another 700,000, 800,000. So we ended up doing a little over $2 million in cash collected for this entrepreneur. He went from 18K a month to $286,000 a month with what I'm going to be teaching you on this session. Okay. So how did I actually do this? First thing that I started with was a VSL. We did not have one at the time. It was kind of like people would get pitched in the DMs to get on a call, and then the call was like a VSL. So it was this big pitch deck where, you're giving it your all and asking them two or three questions and immediately getting into a pitch. And people would only make a decision if the price was right, if they were super nurtured, and they struggled tremendously with objection handling. There was no sales process, and he only had one closer. He was setting the calls. So what I ended up doing was building a sales process, teaching them how to overcome and master objections, building out infrastructure for the closer team, for the setter team, doing daily trainings and holding the team accountable. Okay. I did this again with another coach who you may be familiar with, Steve Weatherford. He has a men's self-development offer, faith-based offer. Whenever I came on, they were doing around 50K a month. And within 1 month, we went from 50K to 136,000, and then 150K. And then last month, we did 120K with one closer who did $120,000 by himself at a 63% close rate. Okay. Once again, with Brandon, 150K a month to 235. I've recently added on two closers onto his offer. So we have three full-time closers, and then we also have a setter team, and we're looking to scale his offer even further. But these principles are all the same. All these different students that I've also worked with, crushing at 40K month, 20K week, 15K day, 27K day. Obviously, I could go on forever, but that's not what you're here for. But at least hopefully that would give you enough reason to listen to me for the next hour or so. Okay. So like Brandon said earlier, I need you to lock in with me. I need undivided attention. Don't be the person who tries to multitask. You can't do it. And this is going to definitely be interactive. So lock in. You can answer this in the chat. You don't have to unmute yourself, but who in here struggles with objections? Light up that chat. One's in the chat if you struggle with objections. You should. Anyone who says they don't struggle with objections or they don't get objections is lying. Also, if you say that you don't struggle with objections on your calls or you're closing at, 75, 80%, 90%, you're not charging enough. Who here feels that if they close more deals within their business, they would make more money? Who here would make more money if you actually handle people's fears, limitations, anxieties, limiting beliefs, hesitations? You all want to make more money and help as many people as you possibly can. I would assume so, at least. So it's actually your obligation to sit in the pocket with people. You must become someone who is worthy of being followed. And one of the biggest principles that I focus on, especially in the initial stages, is teaching you how to become a better leader, because we can't impose standards on other people that we don't hold ourselves to. We are in the business of solving people's problems. Because the reality is, if your prospects had the knowledge and the skills that they needed to achieve their goal, they would not be on a call with you in the first place. So step number one, we have to actually become leaders. We can only hold someone else to the standard that we hold ourselves to. I can't tell you to invest into yourself and to spend 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, $30,000 on your own education, your own self-development if I don't do that myself, because that's not congruent. And you can only imagine how difficult it is to impose a standard on someone else where you're telling them to take action, to get uncomfortable, to do things that they've never done before when you don't actively do that yourself. If I live in my comfort zone, you'd be surprised the amount of sales reps that I've worked with that have told me, hey, not only am I making the most money that I've ever made in my entire life, I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my entire life. I feel the best that I've ever felt in my entire life, because when you do what you say you're going to do on a foundational level, that bleeds into other areas of your life, within your business, within your family, within your fitness, within your faith, within the people that you're surrounded with. We have to live life outside of our comfort zone. Yes, if you were the type of person who schedules calls with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 coaches before making a decision, this session is for you. Now, why would someone do that? The reason that they would do that is because there is a fear involved in making the wrong move. Growth is uncomfortable. There's no perfect program. There's no guarantee that you're going to reach your own goals or the goals that you set for yourself. If you want to grow your business, if you want to grow your team, if you want to reach a certain income, if you want to reach a certain milestone within your business, within your life, you have to get out of your own way. Here's the reality. Your prospects are going to buy. They're going to buy. They're on the call to buy. If you can't get it done yourself, whether it's you don't have the right process, whether it's you don't have a program that can solve their problems, someone else is going to get it done. And that's just the facts. But you must know how and what to do. Once you learn how to handle objections and deliver for your clients, you will double, if not triple, if not quadruple your business. That's how powerful these skill sets are. Because people don't buy, contrary to popular belief, because you had great tonality and you built great rapport with them and you love the Lakers and you've been to Idaho and you have a mechanic that works here or there, or you love their shirt, or you pre-handled and made sure that their spouse was supportive of them. being on the call in the first place, and this is not a side mission. Sales is easy. The problem is you just don't know how to play the game effectively yet. That's why I'm here. Let's train. Step number 2 is mastering objections. Okay, so we have become a leader. Step number 2 is to master objections. In order to objection handle somebody, we must get confirmation from them that what we do is going to get them to their goal. That's non-negotiable, because traditional sales is, I don't really care about the prospect. I care about the commission that I could make, or the income that I could build, or the wealth that I could build. So I don't really care about their problems. I don't really care about what they're going through or how they feel. I'm going to shove my product or service down their throat. The way that I teach objection handling is getting certainty first, because you get buy-in from the person that they feel that what you do is going to get them to their goal, AKA they're giving you permission to solve any problem or obstacle that is in the way of them making a decision to get them closer to their goal. Maybe is not yes, by the way. In order to lead your prospects, you have to lead yourself first. There are only 5 objections in our market, surprisingly. Think about it: partner, money, fear, and logistics. 2 of them are smokescreens. So that really leaves us with just 3: money, fear, and logistics. Who here could learn 5 objection handling frameworks to double, if not triple, their business in the next 30 days? That's it. It's just 5. I tell my students all the time, I'll have them write on sticky notes and like put it up next to their camera, their computer. It's not fun until price is on the table. If you come into a call expecting everyone to say, hey, I'm ready to rock and roll, here's my credit card, no questions asked, let's just do it, I'm ready to pay in full, you're already losing. Expect the objections to come. Prepare for them. Master the objection skill set. Train your face off, because excellence, like I've said, it's a choice. It's a daily commitment. If you're not excellent in sales, then I know for a fact that you're not excellent with your marketing. You're not excellent with your client fulfillment. It's a standard. If a prospect says, I need to think about it, how do you respond to that? What most people will say is, well, what do you need to think about? You'll start to see that there is a system to handling this. And if you can master the system, you're going to have complete control on where you're going in the conversation. And you're no longer going to be in a place where you are uncertain on whether or not you are where you should be. If your prospect is uncertain and they're fearful and they're doubting, and you also are uncertain and fearful and doubting, nothing will get done. The blind cannot lead the blind. It'll just be patty cake. And then it'll end with you burning the lead, you slamming the laptop, you frustrated, feeling that you could have done more, you should have done more, but you don't know what you're doing. Think about it as a smoke screen. It's not a real objection. So how would we actually handle this? So someone says, I need to think about it. You've just laid price on the table. I need to think about it. Not a problem. So we're going to start with this system by diffusing the objection. We're not going to pounce on them. What do you need to think about it? You told me this is what you wanted to do. You told me that you were going to start, and now you're telling me you need to think about it. Why are you thinking about it? We want to diffuse. That's not a problem. No worries. I hear you. Next, like I was talking about earlier, we want to get certainty from them that what we do will get them to their goal. So what this looks like, that's not a problem. Before you do go and think about it, could I ask, in your own opinion, do you actually believe and feel that the structure that I've laid out here can get you to goal? Because that's literally the most important part. Listen to the words that I use. Do you feel that it can get you to your goal? Not do you feel that it could? Do you feel that it should? Do you feel that it would? Those are all uncertain. Could, should, would, maybe, possibly, hypothetically. Uncertainty. We don't want to bring uncertainty into the conversation. We want to bring certainty. We are grounded. We are the leader. They are looking to us for leadership and guidance to make the right move. Okay. When someone says, yes, I do believe that what you've laid out will get me there, I would ask why? What about the program specifically gives you that certainty that by joining hands with us, you will actually reach specific goal? Now, the reason that I'm doing this is twofold. One, I'm turning this fight or flight response that's kicking in from the price shock that they're dealing with, from no, 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 I need to get out of here. I got to go. How can I get distance between me and this sales guy? To yes, I feel like this is going to get me there, which in their brain is turning them more into, why am I here on the call in the first place? Oh, it's because I want to reach the result. I'm here to get the result. That's why I'm here. The other side of it is when they tell you that they feel it's going to get them to the goal, you now have permission to handle the fears, the limiting beliefs, the obstacles, the anxieties that are preventing them from taking action. Okay, so once we've got certainty from them, what I would ask is, so when you do go and think it over, what is sort of coming up for you that makes you want to do so? Just to see if I can even help with it. Okay. If you've done this correctly, you are going to get an objection. It's just more than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it's just a lot of money. Recognize this. No longer am I stuck in the think about it smokescreen. We're having a money conversation, which is a objection, which is something that I can solve. You'd be surprised the amount of sales reps that I will watch sit with someone looping over and over and over again. Oh, well, I have to think about it. I never make decisions on the spot. I always wait 24 hours and we never get through that. And we just play patty cake for another 10, 15 minutes until the person says, hey, buddy, I got to go. Okay. So just to retrace, someone says, I need to think about it. That's not a problem. Before you do, go and think it over. I guess in your own opinion, do you actually believe and feel that the structure that I've laid out here actually can get you to your goal? Because that's literally the most important part. Yes. Okay. Well, why do you actually feel that it can? Like, what about it specifically gives you that confidence and certainty that by joining hands with us, you're actually going to reach your goal after all these years of trying? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Now, before you do go and think on this, I guess what's sort of coming up for you that makes you want to do so, just to see if I can even help with it? Yeah, it's just a lot of money. That's where we're at right here, right now. Okay, so no more think about it. That is going to leave partner, money, logistics, and fear. It's just a lot of money. What will we say now? Right? You'll start to see that this is a structure. This is a framework. And if we do the same thing every single time, then we can make decisions based on data. We have to do it the same way every single time. Otherwise, we're never going to know whether or not it's just good lead quality or we suck at sales. If we don't know those things, then we can't make decisions. We're always going to be stuck with emotional decisions. Oh, I'm trying to book calls and nobody's booking in. Do I need to turn on my ads? Are my ads wrong? Now I'm getting all these people on the calls and they're not closing. Do I suck at sales? Am I good at sales? Like, what's going on? We got to do it the same way every single time so that we can make decisions based on outcomes. Okay, so someone says, yeah, it's just a lot of money. I hear you. And just so I understand, is it more so that you're in a place where you don't necessarily have the full funding and you have to go and find it in order to actually start? Or is it more that you do have the full funding and you're just a bit hesitant? Okay, so now I've given them a binary option and they're going to choose. Yeah, I do have the money. I'm just a little uncertain. Or they could say, yeah, I just don't have the full amount. Regardless of what they say, this is where I'm going to take the lead. No worries. And just so you know, money's never going to be the reason why we can or we can't help somebody. Worst case scenario, we can just create a plan for the future But based on what you're working with now, I may be able to create a plan for you so that you could actually start. Now, is that something you'd be opposed to exploring? Do not ever ask someone, oh, it's just a money thing. How much money do you have? Or how much can you put forward today? They're going to say, oh, I got a couple thousand, or I'm not really comfortable sharing that, or I just don't have that much. But if you take an effective lead and you get clarity on everything that they're working with, you are now taking that lead and you can make a recommendation based on what they're working with. And you'll see that in just a second. Take the lead. Logistical cash on hand. So what this is going to look like is, after I've said, worst case scenario, you and I can just create a plan for the future. But based on what you're working with, I may be able to create a solution for you so that you could actually start. Is that something you'd be opposed to exploring? They say no. And I would say, okay, so in terms of your monthly income, what are you expecting to come in at the end of the month? 5 grand. Okay, and what does that look like after expenses? 3K. Okay, so we're going to have $3,000 at the end of the month that we could utilize. Great. Now, I know some people like to keep their checking and their savings separate. What would you have access to in your checking? What would you have access to in your savings? What about your credit? You have credit cards? What is the limit on those cards? What is your credit score? What about investments? Like, I'm literally covering every base because that's my job. And they're not just going to tell me that. And they need someone to take the lead, and they need to be told what to do because they don't know what they're doing. And if they did, they wouldn't be on a call with me. Okay. So throughout this whole process, I'm taking notes, I'm writing all this stuff down. But I want you to see, we have now crossed off, but think about it. We've crossed off money. We've crossed off logistics. These would be the only other 2 routes that our prospect could go. Whoever's talking right now, please mute yourself. So we're at this place now where we have leverage, right? We know where we are in the conversation because we've taken the lead, we've followed our process, etc. Now, if someone has the full amount, there's a crossroads, because I can either push them to pay it in full or I can do a payment plan, but that's my discretion as the leader. This is where you're going to start to realize how powerful it is to invest yourself. If you don't invest yourself on a consistent, regular basis, you're not going to have enough conviction to push other people to do the same. So as an example, if somebody, say my program's 8K, I do the cash on hand exercise and I realize that Brandon, please mute everybody. You realize that the person has, say, 12 grand liquid that they could use. So you could take one of 2 routes. You could say, do you know what I would do if I was in your shoes? I would pay it in full, and here's why. And then you would share a personal story, and I'll get into the personal story in a moment. Or you could say, well, based on what you're working with, I don't feel that liquidating your bank account is going to be the best move. But I think you'd also agree that doing nothing is probably not the right move either. Would you agree? Person says yes. And you're sure you still want to do this, right? Person says yes. Okay. This is where utilizing credit alternatives is going to be very vital for you collecting as much cash up front as you possibly can. It's also going to get the prospect to buy in to burning the boats behind them and going all in to get the result. So we always want to push for the most cash collected possible. Those are the 2 routes that you can take. Okay. The one that's going to be the most favorable to explain for you in terms of developing this skill set. And I want you to reflect on this within your own life and in all of the trials and tribulations and transformations that you've had as an entrepreneur, as a business person, is what scary decisions or what transformations have I gone through in my own life, whether it's investing into a coaching program, whether it's burning the boats and putting my back against the wall, that have led me to get to the position that I'm in today. Because these people are going to be looking to you for guidance in what they should do. So my bread and butter in terms of helping people to realize and to understand that I've been in their shoes and I've done the same things that they're about to do is telling personal stories. Okay. So the route that I would take is, do you know what I would do if I was you? I would pay it in full. And here's why. And then I would get into a personal story to address the fact that I've invested multiple tens of thousands of dollars into online coaching programs for my own personal development. And if I hadn't done that, I would not be in the position that I'm in today. And it's very deep and it's very thorough. And it talks about everything that was going through my head at the moment that I decided to pay in full and all of the challenges that came along with that of not having any money in my account and being scared and being fearful, but always pushing forward and putting the left foot after the right foot, which put me in a place where I could accomplish what I've accomplished thus far. Every time you use a personal story or an analogy to reframe your prospect, you want to finish that off with that in mind, what do you feel you need to do? With that in mind, what do you feel you need to do today so that when your head hits the pillow tonight, you can have certainty knowing that you're doing everything in your power to take one step? Most people will say, I need to take action, right? And then you sign them up. Okay, personal stories and analogies are going to change the game for you within sales. I personally myself use weight loss as an analogy a lot of the times because I used to weigh 300 pounds. Okay. That's why I say you have to become someone worthy of being followed because I could never sell a fitness offer if I was 300 pounds. I could never speak with this level of conviction if I hadn't invested tens of thousands of dollars of my own money into online education and self-development and put a lot of pain and difficulty on myself, on my own shoulders. I would not be able to speak with the same level of conviction that you hear right now. I would not be in the position that I am right here, right now. And in the same sense, your prospects oftentimes have a certain way of thinking and living and making decisions, which has them on a call with you where they don't know what to do. They don't know what the right move is. They're fearful, they're scared, they're uncertain. That's their perspective. Just like for me, I used to have a very poor diet. I used to not exercise. I used to tell myself that I was going to do something about it and do absolutely nothing at all consistently. And that bleeds, right? When you say that you need to lose weight and you look in the mirror and you feel all the pain and the insecurity and the frustration and you're bullied, etc., and you say you're going to do something about it, you don't do anything, that bleeds into your business. That bleeds into your marriage. That bleeds into fatherhood or motherhood, etc. It's a foundational thing. So if I always made decisions the same way that a 300-pound guy makes decisions, I would have always been 300 pounds. But it's not just going to the gym on a Monday that's going to make the biggest difference. It's a step, and the step may be uncomfortable, but the step is what is difficult, which is a chain of very difficult decisions and commitments over an elongated period of time, which built me into the person that I am today, where I lost 110 pounds. And no one was going to do it for me. So with that in mind, like the version of you on the other side of the bridge that has a successful business or is achieving every goal that they've set out for, that person makes decisions a certain way. It's the reason why they're in the position that they're in. So what do you need to do today to align your actions the same way that that person on the other side of the bridge would? What would they do? Would they go all in? Would they burn the boats behind them? Would they step in confidently, knowing that no matter what happens, they're not going to quit? Or would they shrink back into what's most comfortable and cower off the cliff and go back into what's most comfortable? Because there are only two options. I've taken 3,000 sales calls. I'm responsible for millions of dollars per month in cash, dozens of teams, dozens of reps. This stuff works. This will get you where you're trying to go. But you have to get uncomfortable. You have to do the work. You have to stop making excuses. You have to put a line in the sand. You have to take action. That's all I got, Brandon.
I love that. How many of you enjoyed what Tristan just broke down for us? Randall did, Sam did. Dude, I think one of the most eye-opening things for me was that there's only three objections. Two of them are smoke screens. So maybe we've got like 10 minutes. We could do like some role play maybe. Um, has anybody been getting um, a consistent objection? If so, what I want you to do is raise your hand, and we're actually going to bring you on, and Tristan's going to live help you solve it. Maybe one that your closers are getting consistently, one that you're getting consistently, and let's just solve this thing live. Yeah, Zoe said, I feel like you just gave me the blueprint behind all the sales calls I've been on. Yeah, that's good.
The one
All
thing that
right.
I will say, if I could
Go
just
ahead.
speak on it, is it doesn't matter what you sell. People say, well, I sell YouTube automation, or I'm a health coach, or I teach how to scale a business, or XYZ. That doesn't matter as much. And if you think about it as you are selling outcomes, and your vehicle, whatever you sell, is what is going to get them to the outcome, and you remove all the complexity of this is what I do and how it works, and it's going to change your life, and you focus on what is the goal of the person that I'm talking to? Like, what do they want? What is the outcome that they're trying to achieve? And then we can get into building leverage via how long has this been a goal of yours for? If someone tells me they want to lose 50 pounds, in a fitness example, and they also tell me that they've had this goal for a decade, that's going to give me a lot of leverage. And then I would get into, okay, and so over the last 10 years, what have you actually done on your end to put yourself in a position where you can actually lose the 50 pounds? And oftentimes with these people, which it's not their fault, they lack direction, they lack consistency, they lack knowledge. And that's why they're on the call with you. So usually they'll say, I try to diet here and there. I've gone to the gym. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't necessarily know what to eat. I've hopped on some calls. I've done some research. I've looked into Weight Watchers, etc. And my response would be, have you ever actually achieved the goal with what you've tried? Or has it really just been research? Because it's fine either way. And I'm a very direct person. Sometimes I can come off as condescending or non-empathetic, but my job is to hold you accountable. If you've been saying this has been your goal for 10 years and 10 years have gone by and you're still in the same position that you were 10 years ago, there's a problem here. And this problem has to be addressed. And the more responsibility I can put on you to decide to actually make a change, AKA, I should have done more, AKA, I don't feel that the way that I'm going about this is going to get me to my goal, the higher likelihood your actions will align with what you're saying. Responsibility is a big thing because everybody can, hop on 10 or 15 different calls or research the Weight Watchers or the Nutrisystem. It's completely different to actually go to the gym and put the work in and take action and commit. Life is kind of like the game of baseball in the sense that every single day the ball's coming down the center of the plate and everyone has a bat in their hand. You have one, I have one, and we all have an opportunity to actually swing the bat. And although no one can guarantee you that by swinging the bat, you're going to hit a home run every time or even one time, I can guarantee you that if you do swing, you're going to get a result, which is better than nothing. It could be a fly out, could be a ground out. You could get to first base. You could get to second base. No one knows. But if you don't swing, you're going to strike out. And for most people, which is the most challenging thing in this coaching space, because there's so many people who present these false realities and all these outcomes that are unrealistic, and it puts people in paralysis where they're worried that they're going to make the wrong move and they don't do anything. And they're always hoping and wishing and praying and wanting the perfect program at the perfect time for the perfect cost that's going to get them to the outcome. And that does not exist. It doesn't exist. I've done 3,000 sales calls. I've worked with dozens of different companies. It's all the same mindset issues. It's all the same fears. And if you can become someone worthy of being followed and you live a difficult life, you do what you say you're going to do, and you're excellent, you're going to help a lot of people. And these people are going to get the help. they're not going to get it from you. They're going to get it from someone else. That's just the facts. I have a question. What's your question?
Asked to unmute there. There you go.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much. It was really amazing to hear you navigate through the objections. My personal problem is with setting the framework for the sales call. Many people are presenting it as a strategy call, discovery call, clarity call, and usually the prospects, they feel hesitant because they know that they will be sold. So how do you lead them into a really honest and genuine call where you show them that you care about them, because everything that you showed us was you are coming from the hard place and you want to support them. So then there is nothing salesy. You guide them, you coach them so they see what their problems. But how do you get to this moment?
Sure. What do you sell? Like, what is the offer that you're helping with?
I have several offers. I'm a transformational coach, but I also offer some practical things. I help people, coaches, therapists, healers, people who offer different type of transformation, whether business or personal. I help them find the confidence in them. So it's more mindset work. I also use some body work, body tools, and I help them
Mm,
get clarity and confidence. So it sounds really intangible, but I have
sure.
very amazing results. Like someone becomes a TEDx speaker, other people, they raise their prices. Like it's all
Yeah,
a result of what I do. So I know how to talk about possible outcome when I know what my prospect search is for. But it's not a thing that could be put in a box.
sure.
So
It sounds like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, um, you're helping them with becoming a better version of themselves. And so the people that you're naturally going to be attracting are not the best version of themselves. They're usually going to be in their own head. They're going to overthink. There's going to be a lot of fear, anxiety,
yeah,
procrastination. And so
self-doubt. Yeah.
channeling that in the content and creating a persona of yourself that is understanding and almost validates the audience that it's normal to feel the way that they feel, but also anchoring the changes that have to be made. I don't do any setting. That's more of like a setting question and like the DMs, like how do I not cause sales resistance, etc. But I can give you an idea of the framing of the conversations that I have on calls. I do it for every offer the same way every single time. So what I've seen works best on calls like these is, for starters, just getting to know you a little bit better. You may have seen from our content that we have helped a lot of people, but at the same time, there's some people we can't necessarily help. And I hope you can understand that. But based on the conversation that you and I have, if I am confident that we can actually get you where you're trying to go, I'll walk you through what that would look like. But if not, I'm a pretty blunt and honest guy, and I'm still going to try and point you in the best direction that I can. Is that fair? And you can hear in my tone, I am very empathetic. And I'm very calm, and I'm not like, my tone doesn't. I don't have a lot of inflections in my voice, which I see oftentimes. People, they're like excited and they've been training and practicing and they want to have high energy. But one big thing that you have to realize is you have to be the same person from the start as you are at the end. And so if you're this funny and friendly, charismatic person that's bubbly and laughing at everything and trying to make them become your best friend, and then they start giving you objections at the end of the call, and then you switch up and you start trying to handle those objections and you're probing and clarifying and trying to get them in the door, you're no longer congruent to the person that they thought you were at the beginning. So whoever you are, however you feel, whatever way you talk, try and stay the same way the entire time. And they're not here to be your buddy. They're not here to, add more people into their contact list that they can call and complain to. Like, they're here to get the result.
So good. Let's do one more quick one. I see Christian's hand raised. Let's hit that. Just
Can you
unmuted
guys
you.
hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, I have a group right now that I teach people how to start their construction companies. And basically My question is, I'm charging 29 a month for that group, and I give them everything they need. So I teach them how to run their Facebook ads, Google ads. I teach them how to hire a VA. I teach them how to basically get started with zero experience, and I give them coaching calls every week. And my main question is um is that a good price range? Do I need to increase that or?
How
Yeah,
much
I'll
would,
answer that.
yeah, Brandon, you can go.
Yeah, dude, I would say you're teaching them how to build a construction company and you're charging them the price of like a meal at Chili's. That doesn't make any sense. Um, A, you're not gonna make any money unless you have like 1,000 people in there. B, they're not gonna do any of the work 9 times out of 10. So I would create a high ticket offer without a doubt. You could easily charge 5 to 10K for that. Um, and yeah, that really comes down to just instead of pushing the group, make good content and have people book in calls and watch a VSL before the call of how you built your construction company. And then when they get to the call, you just ask them where are they at, where do they want to get to, apply all the things Tristan just said. And instead of saying $29, say it's going to be 5,000. And you will be shocked at how many people will pay you live on the call. But whenever you pay someone $29, you literally leave and think, wow, I just gave them 4 Starbucks coffees. I can live without ever refunding or getting a refund or disputing this payment, leaving. They just forget about it. So instead, what you should do is charge high ticket. And whenever somebody pays you 5 grand, 10 grand, guess what? They show up to the onboarding call. They do what you tell them to do. And ultimately, they get the result that you were there to help them with, right? So, if your goal is 20K a month, you need 4 students. If it's 30K a month, you need 6. Let's say you suck at sales and close at 25%. You need 24 sales calls next month to do 20K a month. So it's really just math and then also having conviction in what you're selling. So yeah, I would say definitely check out my YouTube channel and start thinking about how to build a high ticket offer instead of a low ticket offer for sure. Let's do one last one. I see Sam raised his hand. I want to get to him. Good to see you, brother. What's your question?
Good to see you
Yeah,
too,
can you hear
Brandon.
me?
Thanks for your question. Or
Oh,
thanks.
there's 2 Sams.
Oh,
Oh, shoot.
My
I'm sorry.
bad.
Sam,
Both of you.
I lowered my hand. Go ahead and take that one. I'm sorry.
um, mine's real quick. Just Brandon, you talked about in the training, a heavy focus on switching to MRR versus like high ticket, volatile sales months, and I really resonated with that. So I appreciate those lessons. One of the questions I had is, you really said that you were leaning heavily towards basically full pay or weekly payment plans only. And I like the idea of that. My only concern is like commitment and like drop off, people getting in for the first payment and then disappearing. So do you guys, yeah, if you're comfortable with sharing, like, is that something you guys heavily focus on, is just doing the weekly payments, or do you try to get like a minimum down and then do weekly?
I'll answer this really quick. I would not suggest weekly. For like, let's say you have 2 offers, right? This is like your entry level offer. Let's say it's like 2 to 5K. Then you have like an upsell offer. Let's say it's 10K. I personally would not suggest recurring revenue unless it's like a mastermind, meaning A, this person has a lot of money coming in so they can continue to stick with you. B, you've already worked with them and you know they're like here for the long term. And even then, I personally would, prefer the pay in full.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, let me just explain this really quick because I think it'll help people. We had a fitness coach. He was doing 50K a month. Um, right? That was his best month ever. And 80% of his payments were monthly recurring revenue, which is great. Whenever we add on high ticket, because now he has a lot of recurring payments. But ultimately, the goal is to add in high ticket on top of it. And literally, the first month he started optimizing for high ticket, he made like $50,000 profit because he had like a strong base of MRR. So what I would suggest is, without a doubt, if you're under 30K a month, focus on high ticket. And then once you get to like 50, 60, 70, then you could think about adding in an MRR model. But yeah, so I think somebody's getting a call. But yeah, my answer would be to focus on high ticket. So
That makes sense. Yeah, and
because
we have high ticket currently.
yeah,
I thought you were recommending doing weekly payments only for the high ticket. Like it's 10K or it's 375 a week or whatever. But you're saying you
yeah,
could optimize for the full pay.
yeah. And then that was before we had a firm where
Mm,
people could just finance it. For instance, if you go to a car dealership today, there's two ways to buy the Mercedes, the blacked out matte black G-Wagon, right? There's two ways. A, you pay in cash. B, you finance it through a bank. That simple. That's how people should approach buying your program. A, they pay with cash. B, they finance it. And if they can't do that, then you could do in-house financing. But the mastermind level is what works for the weekly pay option. So, for instance, it's 24K if you pay 500 a week, or 20K in full, whatever, like that. Yeah, that could work. Um, but yeah, great question, bro. Um, Sam, we've got like 2 minutes for your question. The other Sam, what's up, bro?
Cool. Thanks, man. And Tristan, great presentation, dude. Really appreciate it. And I think what I wanted to kind of get maybe an opinion on is that when you said personal stories, have you found if there's any difference between citing a client base for their personal stories of them investing inside of the program, or you saying that I've invested in my own personal development and doing that from pushing them over the line in terms of their own investment to get them to jump over? Because I found that very effective for me personally, either with Brandon or with the other people that I've invested with for everything else too. And I'm in Brandon's program, so that was kind of something that really pushed me over the edge too. But was wondering if you or anyone else had noticed a difference between the two, and if that difference was pretty big or not.
I would say it depends. I work through the lens of I've been within all of these businesses, so they don't trust me. So it really helps if I tell personal stories just to build connection with them. If I was the founder, you could use your own personal story, but leveraging specific clients that you know intimately and their
Yeah.
circumstance upon entry is very valuable as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, man.
You got it. Great question.
Tristan, hit this one really quick. I don't want to mess your name up. Alendrea, I think, said, what about putting down a deposit to secure a spot?
Yeah. So what we do on our calls, and some people will think this is like salesy or like a tactic, etc., is fast action discount. So it's like the program is 10K, but what we like to do on these calls for people who decide to put a line in the sand and actually step up to the plate and take action is we take 2K off, making it 8K one time. And the reason that we do this is because from what we've seen, students who make decisive changes get the best results. And that's the facts. Because I've done it. And I'll tell you this with certainty that if I would have known that the program I joined at $6,000 had a payment plan, I would have paid $1,000 and done 1 week of work and changed my credit card, and I would not be on this call right now. So with the deposit, you have all the leverage in the world to collect the deposit, only if it's a logistical objection, like, hey, I got to move some crypto around and I got to liquidate my account. So can I put $500 down and then pay the rest on Friday? That's fine. But you have leverage to do that because of the fast action discount. Because it's like, if you don't make a decision on this call, it's going up to 10 grand. That's the route that we usually take. Now, the deposit is always, can I challenge you to actually step up to the plate and put a line on the sand on this call? Because if all we ever do is talk about it and we don't actually align our actions with what we say we want, we never get closer. And you're actually a further step away because you said you were going to do it and you talked about doing it for an hour or 2 hours and you did nothing. So very much responsibility based, very much you said you were going to do it and you're not doing it now. What's actually coming up for you? How can I challenge you to actually step up to the plate? And a lot of that will come with them holding on to me as a leader and following through with the actions that I guide them to take based on my experience, my equity, my authority in the conversation.
So good. Guys, I'm curious, what are your goals with your business? Like in the chat, I would love to hear just some goals from you guys. yeah, revenue goals, vision. I'm just curious, like, do I have people on here that are wanting to make like their first 10K a month? Is it like 50K a month? Is it pay off your house? What is it? Jessica said 10K a month. Christian wants to go from 6,000 MRR, and then do 50,000 with high ticket offers. 40K a month. Sam wants to get to 100K a month. 3 consistent 10K months while in college. Dude, I had a kid that was 16 do 10K his first month while he was in high school, and he was taking sales calls when he was playing baseball, like in the dugout during baseball practice. Oh, that's awesome. Scale high ticket offers, 10K profit months. Cool. 20K month on the way, and then get to 50. I love that. Cool. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. I remember getting on a sales call whenever I started my coaching business. We did 40K month one, 70K month two. And for the last 18 months, we've done over 100 to 200K every single month in my coaching business. And I actually trace it back to several key investments. The first coach I ever hired, like Tristan said, I didn't pay him full. He told me it was 6K and I talked him down to 2K. And I paid in the DMs. But it didn't serve me because I didn't do any of the stuff he said. Okay. And then again, I ended up not doing anything he said. 5 months later, I paid the same exact guy and did the same exact thing, 2K. And this was like during the time I had a marketing agency and he was trying to help me start a coaching business. Believe it or not, and it would sound like I'm lying, but I'm telling you the truth. Believe it or not, another 3 months goes by of me doing nothing and I pay him again another 2K, literally, just to get into a program, right? And had I had just invested the full amount, I think genuinely I would have gotten where I wanted to go so much faster. Um, and then fast forward, so I get on a call. We did 70K in a month, and I paid $28,000 for a coaching program. Now, the experience I had wasn't the best, to be honest, but the fact that I paid 28 grand to be in a coaching program forced me to, it put my back against the wall. I had no other option but to make it work. The very next month, and the marketing system I paid for didn't even work, but I realized what I needed to do was just stick with what was already working. The very next month, we did 110K. And ever since that payment, I haven't made less than 100 grand in my coaching business in a month. Right? And yes, you could say, it's luck, bro. You're just good at marketing, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, if I would not have invested in myself, none of that would have happened. Not only that, a lot of people on here, you're like, yo, sales, it seems like scammy. It seems like all you care about is money whenever you sell that way. Look, you need to get people to draw a line in the sand. If they don't draw a line in the sand, they're never, ever, ever going to make a change. How is somebody going to go from 300 pounds on a sales call with you to 200 pounds if for the last 20 years they've been going to McDonald's, they get 6 chocolate chip cookies, and they don't follow a single diet? What is going to change overnight? What, they pay you $300? No. Like, there needs to be a hard line drawn in the sand of like, okay, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to commit to the process. And I've personally found when it stings a little, it forces people to implement, right? If you pay $500 and you've got 20 grand in your bank account, that $500 will be back in a week. But when you see your bank account go from 20 to 15, especially you guys running businesses, it's like, okay, hustle mode. I need to make some more money. For instance, the other day, I felt like I was getting comfortable, so I went and bought an Escalade. I was like, I'm getting too comfortable. I got the house I wanted. And sometimes I do it other ways. Sometimes I'm like, hey, my church is doing this outreach. Instead of having the church pay for it, I'll pay for the whole thing. Right? Another way, I get uncomfortable. Every month, I give 10% to my church. Not because it's a good idea, but because the Bible says to. And he says, what would you rather have, 100% that's cursed or 90% that's blessed? So more than just making more sales, more than making more money, if you could tie your vision to an impact that's bigger than you, you'll be amazed at what will happen on your sales calls. People will be able to sense that you actually care about them more for their than just their money. Right? And two, another thing, when you start making more sales, you make more money. And when you make more money, you don't give a crap if they join or not. You know, it's the best feeling now for me to get on a sales call and I could actually care less if they pay me. If they don't want to pay me, it's their loss, is how I view it. Dude, I've already helped like 1,000 people. So if you want to try it on your own, dude, great. If I've tried everything in my power to help them make the right decision. If you're a fitness coach, you're helping people lose weight. You know for a matter of fact, without a shadow of a doubt, if they go to the freaking gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if they eat 2,500 calories instead of 4,000, that in the first 30 days, they're going to lose X amount of weight. If they go on the carnivore diet, the plant-based diet, whatever it is, if they listen to what you say, they will get the result. So what's the problem? You don't believe in them, or they're too scared to take action. Here's like one thing I'll say, and then we'll wrap up. My favorite sales analogy is a red pill test. If I could give you this white pill, let's say, we meet at the mall, you tell me you're an online coach, I'm an online coach. I'm like, okay, you take this pill, in 3 months, your business will be at X, whatever you put in the chat, 50K a month, 100K a month. How much would you pay me for this pill? You'd probably empty your bank account, right? If you could guarantee that in 3 months, you swallow this pill, your business is at 50K a month. You would pay for it, right? So the question isn't, is the result worth the money? The question becomes, what are the roadblocks keeping them from believing that it's possible? And usually it's because you grow up super insecure in high school and your high school friends are still in your ear thinking you're never going to be successful. Or maybe you tried to start a clothing company, a lawn mowing business, and it failed miserably. And now your parents see it, your fiance sees it, your husband, your wife sees it, and you're just insecure. Here's how you get out of that crap is you draw a line in the sand, you get rid of plan B, and you say, I'm going all in on this thing. And I feel like I'm on the call with a bunch of people who are crazy enough to believe that A, coaching works, B, that you actually have something in you that the world needs, right? I love helping people that are impact driven make money. It's like one of my favorite things to do is see people come in and crush it. I'm going to just share my screen really quick. Just inside of one of our programs, just the wins channel. Yeah, super newbie here. He literally joined our program. And within the first 3 days, he went through some of Tristan's training. Tristan does calls for our program every single Thursday, and he closed a 6,500 pay in full. Before, he wasn't even charging near that, right? Giovanna, she came into my program sometime August 4th, she had already made 11K in her fitness coaching program and didn't take a single sales call because we helped her hire a closer. Now she's doing anywhere from 50 to 60K per month, right? Jack Knight, 4K pay in full. Megan Rhodes, she helps women, young girls actually, who compete in pageants get higher placements. And she did 10K in a day, right? Absolutely insane. And it was her closer who was closing the calls, right? Zach, we helped him start a school community, and now he's doing 70K a month with both of his closers, right? Jack Knight went all in on himself, did 14K in 2 days. Stefan, he's a fitness coach. He was stuck for months under 5K, and in the last, few days, he's done $12,000. Now, am I going to take 100% credit for all this? Yes. No, I'm kidding. I'll take a lot of credit for it though. A, because we're really good at what we do, but the thing that all those people, and that's just the last few days, the thing all those people have in common is that they took out a stick and they drew a line in the sand and they said, I'm sick and tired of not fulfilling my potential and being stuck. right? It's the same thing I did. It's the same thing you heard Tristan say he did whenever he first invested into a coach. Every single person I've talked to that has had success in this industry took a leap. So today, I'm going to ask you to take a leap, and it's a really simple leap. What we've done, we really put together something special for this call. We made a few spots available for roadmap calls with our team. And what we want to do is really simply put, get to know you guys a little better and add more value. So, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is if you've gotten value from this training, you see some bottlenecks and you're like, dude, there's like obviously something wrong with my business. What I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to take a leap from whether you're at 10K a month, 100K a month, and I want you to take action on getting to your goal. Right? On this call that I just put the link in the chat, you can book in. It's going to be pretty simple. We're just literally going to ask you, how are you doing mentally? Do you have limiting beliefs around money? Why haven't you started your high ticket offer yet? Why are you charging $29 instead of $2,900, right? What's your offer, right? Maybe your niche is bad. We're going to look at your niche. We're going to look at how much you charge. We're going to look at several different things. We're going to make sure it's even scalable, right? Then we're going to ask you a few questions about marketing. Why are you only doing organic? Why haven't you run ads yet? And just really identify the bottlenecks that could be holding you back. Then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to talk through your sales process, which is what Tristan just spent time doing. What are the common objections you're getting? Do you have a closer? Are you ready to bring on a closer? What is your setting process? Why are you not booking more calls? Right? And lastly, we'll take a look at your team. Do you have setters yet? Do you have closers yet? Do you have assistant coaches? And essentially, all we're going to do on that call is point out all the bottlenecks to you. Hey, this is the reason you are still here and not here. And if we think we can help, we'll walk you through what our programs look like and things like that. And hey, the deal is if this isn't the right fit for you, we are not going to tell you to join the program for a lot of different reasons. I hate working with people who are bad clients, first of all. I don't like wasting our time with people who don't even have what it takes to get results. So we're pretty picky on who we let in, but we do want to help more people. And either way, you're going to leave this call with a ton of clarity on what you need to do. That's the main thing you're going to get is clarity. You're going to leave the call with action items, right? So if it's not a good fit, we're going to be like, dude, go through these videos, check this out, check this out, check this out. But I am going to ask you to draw a line in the sand today. Like you took an hour and 15 minutes out of your day to get educated, receive, impartation from Tristan and learn about sales. So I'm going to ask you to take action on it. Tristan, anything you would say?
Yeah, I would say certainty comes from action. You're never going to know whether or not what you're doing is working until you take the step. And the more comfortable you can become with being extremely uncomfortable, the closer your goals will appear. You got to live your life outside of your comfort zone. No one's going to do it for you. And as long as you're doing everything in your power every single day to take a step closer towards the goals that you have, you're doing it the right way.
100%. Just in the chat so I can see, is anyone call? If booking in a roadmap call, put me in the chat. And for those of you watching the recording, there will be a link down below under the video for you to do that now as well. Quill's booking in, Kiara's booking in. Joanne is booking in. She asked me a question earlier. She said, what do you think about people who are good at sales, but basically suck at delivering and caring about people making money? I think it's stupid. I think it's absolutely stupid. I think the people who are good humans and actually care about their clients should be the ones making the money. And I feel like I'm talking to a lot of people who care about their students and want to make an impact in the world. Those are the people I want to help make more money. So if you're clicking the link because you want to get rich tomorrow, just go ahead and just cancel your call. We don't want to talk to you. If you don't care about your students, please don't book in a call. Genuinely, like I don't want you to book in. But if you care about people and you're like, dude, I just want to serve more people, we're really good at helping you do that. One of the ways is sales, but one of the biggest ways is getting you more sales calls. So we can also talk to you about that on the call. I have 4,100 people in the school group, and it's been like 60 days, right? If you guys had 4,100 people watching your stuff, you would make a lot of money, right? I grew my Instagram from 2,000 followers to almost 50,000 followers over the last few years, and it's made me a lot of money. Same on YouTube. Yeah, we'll definitely cover the content strategy big time. Yeah, and I'll say this, if you're a fitness coach on here, like you are literally our favorite person to work with. Fitness coaches and business coaches, like there is no reason you're not crushing right now. There's only a couple problems. It's either your mindset, you don't believe in yourself, you're not charging enough with your offer, you're not niched down enough. 3, you don't have good marketing, right? You're not running ads to get new people into your world. And 4th, what we talked about today, you suck at sales. So yeah, we definitely cover client acquisition. That's one of the main things we do. This is actually one of my first ever sales trainings. Usually I talk about ads all the time. So yeah, ads is like the main thing. Yeah, we can help with for sure. So health coach that helps people reverse chronic illness. So it's some of the hardest work. Yeah, we've actually had several people do super well with that niche. Yeah, we love working with health coaches, fitness coaches, business coaches. Some of our favorite people to work with because they're in so much pain. Like they've been living with that pain for years and years and years. Now I just need to get them to take action on it. All right, I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time if you guys want to save that. And then for those watching the replay, the link will be down below. Tristan, anything else you want to say?
Nope, I'm about to jump for a meeting actually.
Cool. Well, great call today, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys taking time out of your day. Definitely means a lot. A couple of years ago, I would post a link like this and 2 people would show up, and it was my mom and my cousin. So it's pretty awesome that, strangers from all over hop on to learn. But yeah, guys. So if you do want to grab one of those calls, would encourage you to do so, and we'll chat with you. And really, again, if you can't tell, we just want to help. So um, ideally, you leave with a ton of value there. So again, go ahead, book in a call, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Put some fire emojis in the chat if it was worth the hour and 20 minutes you took out of your day. Um, cool. I love it. Well, guys, we appreciate you. So great meeting you all. And again, we look forward to getting to know you better, speaking with you, and really just seeing if we can help take things to the next level. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest. And to you guys soon. And I'll also post this recording here shortly, so you guys will get that. So be blessed and help more people. Talk to you guys later.